Yeah. Read the U.S. Constitution and don't read the UN Charter. In fact, do anything that you can to get us out of the United Nations. Support the United States Constitution.
Just to steer away from the local level, which is extremely important, probably the most important. Today I read an article by Henry Kissinger in the International Herald Tribune, and the title of the article was called "The Call for a New World Order." So we need to actually take a look at the phrase "the New World Order" and take a look at groups like the Council on Foreign Relations and their connections to our country. Zbigniew Brzezinski, who is now, who during the campaign was the top foreign policy advisor to Obama and is still currently advising him, is one of the creators of the Council on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission. So we need to look at the local level, but also look at the international level in this new world order that they're trying to create with a global government, which would basically relinquish our sovereignty as a country into the hands of an elite. And really, it goes to the heart of everything we're talking about here in the Federal Reserve, the economy, this engineered collapse, 9/11, the wars. All of this is happening for a reason, and it is this global government scheme that they've been working towards.
What he just said is not radical. Familiarize yourself with the term
fundamental.
Familiarize yourself with the term New World Order. We didn't write this. The citizens didn't create this term. This is a term that's been used since the 1950s by our representatives, our politicians, and representatives of the World Bank, global mouthpieces like Henry Kissinger and several others we could think of right off the bat. There's really nothing conspiracy about it. And we've heard George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr. use this term on several occasions. Ask yourself what this is. What does this explain? What is the New World Order? And does it benefit you? You have the computer at your fingertips. I urge you to use it for good and look up that term. Look up NAU, North American Union, and see exactly what these things mean. You can shrug people off all you want about these topics, but there is some substance to them.
Yeah, the idea that it's a conspiracy theory just doesn't hold water any longer. Groups, fake conservatives such as the people that published the Drudge Report, Glenn Beck, the fake conservative, Sean Hannity, the fake conservative, they're all talking about this move to relinquish sovereignty into a new world order, a global government. So the idea that it's a conspiracy theory is just absurd. Conspiracy, yes. Theory, no. There's facts that back this all up, and I urge you all to take a look into it.
Well, the conspiracy theory, folks, I think it's important to put things in perspective a little bit better. And that is, I'm fond of telling my clients sometimes whenever they're really starting to look around, look over their shoulder, and they're constantly thinking out, you know, who's out to get me. And I tell them, it's just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. Well, just because you suspect a conspiracy doesn't mean that there isn't one. And I don't know that whether we have an intentional conspiracy or we have a natural development and evolution of those in power to gain more power and the lust for more power just as a matter of natural progression. I use the example of the frog and the scorpion to demonstrate this sometimes. And the frog, you know, the frog's swimming along, the scorpion is sitting there, and he says, "Froggy, so I want to go to the other side of the creek, but I can't swim. Let me ride across on your back." And the frog says, "No, you'll sting me and I'll die." The scorpion says, "No," he says, "I can't sting you, because then you'd sink, I'd drown, and we'd both die." So the frog says, "That makes sense, so hop on." So he gets on the back, halfway across the creek, what happened? The scorpion stings the frog. The frog says, "Why in the world would you do that? Now I'm going to sink and you're going to drown." The scorpion said, "Because I'm a scorpion." Well, the government, whether it's one government or it's united governments under the banner of the United Nations or under the League of Nations that was intended earlier on, is going to be a government. The government is going to outgrow its riches and continue to expand its power as long as it has it, doesn't matter how little or how much you give it, it's going to try to strain it. The day they injected powers into this creature that they created back in 1789, it started straining into chains. The very first cases to the Supreme Court was to test their power. The very first case there was Hilton over the taxing authority. And they're starting to straighten their chains. They've slipped those chains. And right now they're ganging up with other governments and saying together we can be even more powerful. And it's just the nature of the beast that we created. It's a necessary evil that we have. And when we create that monster, we create that beast, it becomes our responsibility. We're complaining because the dog is tearing up the flower beds and turning over the garbage cans and terrorizing the kids in the neighborhood. And who should we be complaining to, the dog or the master? We're the master. It's our dog that's tearing up the flower beds. And we've got to put the leash on it. And we've got to get away from the other pack of dogs and form the united dogs. And we've got to go back to controlling and governing our government the way that we were supposed to do it. Now we can sit here and we can bitch, and we can piss, and we can moan all day about how things are, but unless we're ready to do something about it, unless we're ready to stand up and say, no, we're taking control now, then we're not entitled to complain. We're not entitled to whine. And the thing is, all of this stuff is like the Obama change. We've got to realize we're not sitting here with a Democratic administration. We're not sitting here with a Republican administration. We've been under a Fed administration for years and years and years. And you can't tell the difference between one and the other. And you look at how many rights and freedoms we lost in the last 8 years. Did you think that whenever we put a Republican in office 8 years ago, that we were going to lose more power than we did in the 8 years of the Democratic administration the year before? No, sir. No, sir. Both parties. You've got the left leg and the right leg retiring, and you've got to take both of them.